So, Ma, thank you for talking to me about the Spanish documentary theater.
Thank you,
So,
Tim.
yeah, I would like to know what's your relationship with the documentary theater here?
I think now my relationship is directly with investigation, but I also apply it, like in applied theater.
Okay.
I did a master's in applied theater, and I work a lot with communities, small communities. Maybe women, grown-up women in a place, a center of women's, and we talk about memories, their own memories, and we document this with recordings, with photographs, with different things. And I think it's a powerful way of getting close to their own feelings about what they are feeling now and they felt before. And most of it, I think it's putting in value their empowering, their memories, the things they have lived. Like not quite anything, but an important thing, a part of the history. And this is directly documentary theater. I mean, but well, it's a good way of getting close to people and knowing and giving the ears to their voices. Not only the voice because they have a voice, but giving the ear to their voices and giving other ears. My ears and audience's ears. I think it's one of my main interests now is this kind of work. Also, in my research, I found many things I didn't know and many things I wanted to know about in the history of Spanish theater. How come it appears documentary theater here? Some of the researchers think that it comes from the 70s theater players, when we had many groups, revolutionary group in a way, groups that wanted to...
After Franco, the
during
post-Franco.
Franco, last Franco, and yes, post-Franco, after Franco. And this was a very important era for Spanish theater. And I think that now authors and artists are, in a way, taking the heritage of these theaters, in a way, trying to bring it here, bring up to the present, this kind of way of working. It's not the same, but in a way, it's like this line is continuing. You know, they come from this important moment in theater, and they appear now here, resurging with documentary theater.
So what's the relationship? You mean the post-Franco in the 70s and early 80s in Spain? So what's the relationship? You mean at that time they start to look at the reality? Because before that you can't talk directly about the reality, right?
Sure.
Like the playwright Puello Vallejo. In Hong Kong, I've done two of his plays.
Yes.
The Burning Douglas and The Foundation in Hong Kong.
Oh.
But so at that time, he couldn't talk directly about the reality. So he had to use, in Burning Douglas and also in The Foundation, he had to use a lot of metaphors.
Sure.
Yes.
And this was a risk they were taking, and it lit the candle. Because people started to attend to this way of talking about reality through art, through theater. And it was a very closed theater. It was a theater in which there were many students. There was an important movement of students' theater, university theater, and most of the groups came from that. And I think this what that you said, the touching the reality, they're getting closer to reality than ever before, is one thing, and the other thing is that working in communities, the community telling things from themselves. I mean, yes, they were the ones that talk for all the people, for them especially, and talking about them being universal. These two things I think are very important to make a link. I mean, still, this was a different kind of documentary. It was not really documentary theater. It was not the living theater, for example. But it was a great way of, it is a great way of trying to know where does it come from here in Spain, besides experiences outside. I mean, experiences in London, and people that comes from France and comes from London and talks about what they saw and try to practice it. But there was a big hole, because there is a big hole, I think, because in Spain it's very important authors' place. They are very important. The author is fundamental. And now I think, and I see, authors are accepting this in a way expanded authoring. I mean, with the other actors, with the actors in the play, with the people they interview now, taking more in account what they have to say and putting this on scene.
But you said that, so there's the long history starting from the 70s. But you said that's not well in definition. That may not be documentary theater. But so what's the first, I would say, or the recent documentary theater trend? I think it starts from 90s or 20s. I mean, in Spain, it starts from 20s, from the year 2000, or after year 2000.
Maybe in 90s you can find something, but it's 20s. Yes.
Okay, so was it influenced by, because I think in the 90s there's a resurgence of the popularity of documentary theater I think in Germany and also in and UK. In 90s, suddenly more and more people. They have a peak in the 60s when we look at the documentary theater history there in Germany and the English-speaking Wales. But I think in 80s and in 70s and 80s is a little bit quiet. But then in the 90s, it became popular again in London, in Germany. So was it the situation of Spain? Was it influenced by Germany or by UK? Because I've talked to through email, I've talked to Eugenio Suárez of La Conquista de Posul. He said he's sort of influenced by the German tradition, and so what's the relationship between the documentary theater here and documentary theater in the UK or in Germany? Was there any influence?
Yes, but I think the influence in theater, documentary theater here in these years of the 21st century comes mostly from UK and United States.
Okay.
Because
United States
there are many artists that had been out. For example, Raúl was in London.
Yeah.
And for example, Lucia Miranda, who is one of the most important playwriters and directors in in this time, she has started. I don't know, maybe starting the 2009 or something like that, and she and the group, excuse me, the group is the Cross Borders Project. They haven't stopped, and they are very well known. And she comes from the United States. Her experience is from the United States.
Okay.
And she had seen and drunk the way of doing of Anna de Vere Smith.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yes.
The United States had a very strong tradition, especially Anna de Vere Smith. Yeah.
Yes.
In the 90s.
She's a great teacher.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's a great master.
So what's the name of that artist you just mentioned?
Lucia Miranda, the Cross Border Project.
Yeah, I should ask from your more advice. I didn't know her before.
Well, they are very, very active all the time.
Okay.
And now, besides, they have done 2 verbatim plays. One is called Fiesta, Fiesta, Fiesta. It's about educational system, public educational system, and multicultural necessities in the published educational system, because you find now here we have the second generations of immigration who stayed here, no? Latin Americans, most people from Morocco, a lot, and most people from the other side of Europe, Eastern Europe, and they now live here. They were born here. The students that they talk about.
Oh, was it a play that's now being shown in Teatro de Barrio?
No, it's not in Teatro del Barrio now.
No, okay.
But Teatro del Barrio is a very important reference.
Yes. I'm going to see a play tonight at Teatro de Barrio.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
a one-woman show.
About the gypsy. No soy tu gitana, maybe? It can be that, No soy tu gitana, or maybe Pamela Palenciano. It's about gender violence.
Yeah, it's about gender violence.
That's Pamela Palenciano.
Yeah.
I got her in my book because her work is very personal work. She tells her own story, things that she had lived, and how she was mistreated by his partner when she was a teenager. And this is a play that she does everywhere. He has been doing in high schools, everywhere. And one day he decided to put it on stage. I think she did it in Honduras because she was living there. But now this piece is being represented in Teatro del Barrio, I don't know, for about 5 years or 6 years. And she's still there. And she's changed. It's a very living theater because she changes. She adds things that she sees around what's happening. The more cases in gender violence. Another woman killed on feminicide, and she's always talking about the last thing happens. So it's not a closed play, but monologue. But she's also
add on more and more as time goes by.
She never. She's always looking to the context, the real context, her context, and what is happening now around here. Following the feminist movement and following the fight for justice in this terrible thing.
Yeah, going back about the documentary theater here, and so it's more from from UK and from America, and And then you also said that now it becomes even more and more popular
Yes.
here. But because in Germany, of course, there's still documentary theater and verbatim theater in Germany and UK and US, but it seems a little bit quiet compared to 20 years ago. Nowadays. And but now in Spain, it is even more popular than 20 years ago.
Sure.
So the trend is going up.
Yes, the trend is going up. And I think there must be a resistance place. And I think theater is a resistance place, and documentary theater is especially a resistance place. Okay, you're talking about that, but you see, this happened. Don't tell me not, because I know this happened and I'm showing to you.
And so this last 20 years, you said, I think one of the examples is around the bread and the salt.
Yeah,
sure. But there's sometimes when I do documentary theater in Hong Kong, sometimes people will challenge or will ask the question. So, well, it's good you talk about the reality, you talk about some issues in the reality, but it is something. Well, your audience are when they come in, they are already in your side, standing in your side. Yes. But it's not. So it's like preaching to the converted. So what's the audience here like, or what's the audience of the documentary theater here like?
Well, yes, I think we always feel that. Mostly the people at the Teatro del Barrio, for example. It's a great place. They are always taking experimental things, and they are also giving place to different kinds of plays, which come from communitary theater, which come from this kind of testimonies, because Pamela is giving a testimony. Of course, she's talking about other general things in this subject. Testimonies like a gypsy woman who says, please break all your topics. This is not a one way of being. And that, but I feel that also. But I don't know, the one interesting thing is that places, theater, national theaters, are giving place for these kind of pieces and promoting them because their artistic quality is enormous. They are different kinds, of course, but they are big plays with artistic qualities so big that you can evolve all the. I mean, you can. How do you say? Well, they present reality through different things, different documents, and very, very well edited and united, For example, in CDN, which is the Centro Dramático Nacional, they have 3 theaters, 3 locals. One is here it's called Valle Inclán.
Is it the one just near the metro station?
Yeah, Lavapiés.
Okay, I passed by when I came here.
Yeah, there are other two places, beautiful.
About the use of documentary theater, you said, so that's one. You said you love this kind of theater, documentary theater. Mm-hmm. Why?
Because it doesn't avoid reality. It's not for evasive. It's not a kind of theater that makes you forget about problems. Anyway, I think every theater is political.
Yeah.
But in a way, there are some positions that present you something to have some nice moment of entertainment, which is okay, of course.
Yeah, sometimes you did that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I think there is much to be done, so much to be done, and so much to attend to. And I think life is going so fast. It's a kind of a topic, but it's true. Now life is going faster and faster,
Yeah.
and people doesn't have a moment to look and see and focus. And theater makes them focus. Focus yourself when you are doing it, and make people focus on one aspect, one thing that mustn't be forgotten, one thing that has passed, and like news. In news, you see a big headline, and it stays there for about. Before our days, it stayed there maybe for a couple of weeks. Now it stays there only
For
3 or 4
a couple
days.
hours.
Yeah, well, yeah, and internet, and people forget. For example, there was a terrible case of rape in group in the Basque Country in San Sebastian. I think it was 2018. And it was terrible in those days because people were all the time trying to know about it. We were hearing the news, watching the news, and one day it passed. It was a very big demonstration, feminist demonstration, to which came a lot of different people. But in passing the days, in a way you forgot it.
Yeah, my next question is, sometimes I also got this challenge when I do documentary theater in Hong Kong, because people will say, oh, so why not use documentary film? Because documentary film is real, so they just show the interviewees but when you do documentary theater, when I do documentary theater, most of the time I use actors to play the interviewees. Is not the real people.
Okay.
People sometimes will say, why not do documentary film? Is more real than you, because in the film is showing the real people. So how will you compare the documentary film and documentary theater?
Film and theater.
Yes.
Oh, there is a screen and a lot of days of edition and a lot of things that are added in a film. I mean, and the most important thing is that you are living an experience with real people there in theater.
Yeah.
You are in the same atmosphere. You are participating in the same act of in reunion, in the same social moment, and always there is always something that is real, absolutely real, even though if you don't believe what she's saying, what actors are saying because you don't agree or whatever, you're living an experience with real people because there they are. The breath, the movements, the voice, everything is there. And they are talking about what they lived. And if you are an actor and you are being a medium in a way, telling the stories of somebody told before, you have your work, your process, and to try to do it most real possible. And you are talking real words from real people and being a real person on stage. I don't know, maybe it's as complex and simple as that. I think. Documentary films are wonderful because you can you can find a lot of information in a relatively short time. In theater, in documentary theater, you leave this information with real testimonies, and the way, yes, I think the most important thing is that it is physical. You are there in that moment. Bodies are there. Breath is there. Everything is there. These kind of things, I mean, and they are telling you a story, as in documentary films.
So what do you think about the future of the documentary theater here? Do you think it will be... I assume it is... You said the trend now is going up. So you think it will be even more and more popular, or it's already in the peak now? And
No, I don't think it's in the peak, but it's very important. This moment is very important because there are many groups, communitary groups, different kinds of groups that don't appear on the news, and they are taking this kind of acting, and they are feeling the empowerment of being represented on stage or represent themselves on stage, because there are many occasions when you see this documentary theater with real people telling their real stories, or else real people telling another story, but these people has a certain story and you know about it. There are many different ways of doing it now in Spain, which is good news, because now we're seeing that this trend, this upping trend, is, I think it's because of this, and because of there is this resistance in art for this, the way big history is trying to lead us to, the way they're trying to lead us to. And the alternative history is the history of people, certain people. So I think this never ends.
okay.
And this will be, this, I think we can expect more documentary theater and maybe different ways of doing it.
Yes, I think it's very important that you say. That's what I always believe in when I do documentary theater in Hong Kong. I think, yeah, it's there's an American scholar, Carol Martin.
Yeah.
I think she's from. I think you know her, right?
Yeah.
Carol Martin. I think once I read her article about documentary theater. She said that there's one important function of the documentary theater, that's give the voice to the voiceless. Mm-hmm. So I think that's very important. For example, like after Spain, we are going to Athens, yeah. And I'm going to meet two artists there, and one is working on a play about the Roma people in Athens, the gypsies in Athens, and one is working on another one is working on a play about the female in Greece, about the women being oppressed and being exploited in Greece. So yeah, I think this is just the function of a very important function of the documentary theater.
Very much.
To give voice to the minorities, to the minor groups in the society.
I always remember Robinson's.
Oh, the playwright in
the playwright in UK. He says, we're not giving voice to these people, we're giving them ears.
Oh yeah,
to be
that's
heard.
a lovely,
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's it. It's
To
going to the
them.
same place, but that's it.
Yeah. I think it is even more accurate and more respectful of the people. It's about because my wife is also a playwright in Hong Kong,
yes,
and
you told me.
she has also write some documentary plays for me, and so she's interested in that. So what's the approach of the artists, documentary theater artists or groups here? Because in Hong Kong, my company, most of the time, the way we did a documentary theater is I gather the actors together, and then we will go to interview people, and then together we will think about the script. So it's like there's not just one playwright. There's a lot of, well, there's a group of playwrights. So there's one way of approach. And when she writes a documentary play, is different. Sometimes, most of the time, is she will interview people, or we, the editors, will interview people, and then she will put together all the transcripts, and then she, as the playwright, will do the editing all by herself. So there are two types of approaches. So what's it like here? Is one playwright? I think Rao is like, he is the only playwright. He will put all together these transcripts. But what is there any other approach?
Well, as I talked to, especially to Lucia and with Maria San Miguel, who is also from Valladolid, and she has a project that is called Project 432, about the Basque country. About encounters and disencounters between victims and terrorists. And they told me what they do is they go by themselves and they interview people themselves, and they choose the material. Especially Lucia, I think Maria maybe puts in common with the other artists, but Lucia, as she told, she does the work by herself. She goes and interviews, and she picks up what she likes, she chooses, and then she writes in a way. And then she gives the recordings to the actors. But the one thing that is important is the bond, because the actors listen and listen, well, the way verbatim, for example, no? The actors try to know how to do this character, this person. But they say that they get in touch with the people. And one very interesting thing that I saw in their pieces, the Cross-Border Project, is that they always, they never do the piece, they never do the open night before talking to the people that is going to be personalized in the piece. They invite them to
see the work.
To see the first pass. I mean, the first put on scene, and they say things if they want to. They are always pleased. Sometimes they feel ashamed, but because of they see it themselves over there, and they go to the representations, to the performance, and sometimes they participate, they all talk, because there's always a forum at the end of the story. I think this is the way they approach to this, because, before talking to them, before watching the plays, and before reading about the way of working they have, I thought that they may go, all of them, and interview people, and all of them, at least this part, but it's not that. I guess it's a matter of time, and it's a matter of, hours of dedication to this. But I remember that I've been in Peru a month ago, I think, talking with a very important actress, which is called Ana Correa from Yuyachcani. It's a very important group in Peru, the most. And they do the research, all the group. as some UK experiences I have read about. And in this way of approaching to the material, to the interviews, they work very well here. I mean, well, there also too, but I think they are comfortable in this way of doing it. And the most important thing that they tell me is, well, Angel told me, that they are all the time in relationship with the people, getting in touch. What do you think? I don't know exactly what they do, but they do this, and this is the way.
Yeah. The way
as far as I know.
I always, after the way I do, I have done in Hong Kong is after I talk to people and then I do all the transcripts, and then of course I won't use all the interviews. Maybe I only use one sentence or two sentences, and then I will give back the interviewees to the people. Say, I will say, okay, I'm going to use this sentence. Is that okay with you? I have to check and for their endorsement, and then most of the time it's okay. They say that, and most of the time it's okay.
Most of the time it's okay.
Yeah, only when it's really sensitive, maybe there's some issue really. I think it only happens once or twice, I think. But most of the time, people will say okay, and then I will go ahead to do the staging and blah blah blah. And then, of course, in the performance, when we perform, we will invite the people to come to see the performances, and that's the way I did it. And so here there are a lot of different ways of doing it. So sometimes it's one playwright who's done all the work. So sometimes it's a group of people, right?
Well, I only know the experience of people in social theater, people like, for example, the teenagers, that they are giving this, doing this workshop with the teenagers and trying them to learn about verbatim, and they say, please look for this kind of person and interview her. And in this place, the teenagers go over the whole process. They are interviewing, they are coming with the stories, trying to learn, helping to choose. But of course, there is someone editing, which are two persons, which edit the whole and connect the whole piece. This is a nice way of doing it.
So is it, because I also teach in the Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts as a part-time teacher. The Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts is the only full-time school that teach theater, teach drama in Hong Kong. And I don't know about here. So here, is there such an academy of dramatic arts?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There is a big one, I mean the official one, which is called Royal School of Dramatic Arts.
So is documentary theater, because as I said, I'm teaching in Hong Kong in that Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts, and of course it's only one subject. There's a subject on documentary theater. I teach that subject. So my question is documentary theater taught here in the dramatic arts school?
I'm not sure about many of the schools, because there are many private schools too, as a subject. But I know that they are going to the schools, concretely to the official school. Lucia has gone there to give some master classes.
Okay.
And I think they are considering this because it's getting more and more important. Students have to know about it.
Yeah. So it's getting into the curriculum.
It's getting into it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's it now. It's not
short-term workshops. There are some short-term workshops.
I think. Yes.
Okay. So 差唔多啦嘛， nowadays. So, yes, thank you very much, Ma, for
Thank you
talking to
too.
me.
Thank you
Yeah.
too.